Okay, so this is a quick review of the release notes for version 4.11. We had one main item for this release, which is selling, or the ability to sell reoccurring Secure Zone memberships. So there's a number of items here, but to start with, in the Secure Zones section, obviously when you create a new Secure Zone, we've got some additional options now, basically for the membership fee. So once you change the type from a free access Secure Zone to a paid access, you can then set a price and a recursion period. So at the moment it looks like we've just got month and year, but there's a hint here that days and weeks will be available soon too. Okay, so then it just goes through some of the workflow here, saying that if paid access is selected, obviously it hides the typical expiry dates, and it's just saying here that there's like a check or a validation on the form. If you change the recursion type on a Secure Zone, it does a check to see whether there are any existing subscriptions on that Secure Zone that might be using a different recursion rate, and it will show an error if that's the case. So by the look of it, we can't change that recursion if there are subscriptions already subscribed to that Secure Zone. Okay, so pretty straightforward in setting up the actual Secure Zone for recursion and payment. And I probably should have put these in a different order, but I didn't. I'll just jump down to actually setting up the Secure Zone in a form and subscribing, and then I'll come back to the changes to the CRM and cancellations and things like that. So sell membership form selector is now in the toolbox. So so first, let's say we set up a form that we want to process paid Secure Zone. So I've got a sample one here. Basically, we just need to add accept payment. And then in the final step, in the settings, you just need to choose which Secure Zones you want the user to be subscribed to. And so we can have multiple Secure Zones. Both of these are paid, so this one's a 20 cents per month and this one's 30 cents per month. So what will happen is when you add that form to a page, which is now in the toolbox, so I'll head over to a page. Okay, and we go to our components toolbox under Secure Zones. So we now have sell membership forms, and this will actually list only the forms that have paid Secure Zones assigned to them. So at the moment I just have the one, click on that, and then when we paste that in, I'll just get rid of that one, paste that in, we can see it's put in a price that is equal, and it mentions that here, it's the sum of all the Secure Zones. So if you remember, I had a 30 cents and a 20 cents Secure Zone, so it's totaled that up to be 50 cents. And when that payment goes through Stripe, it will list out the two separate subscriptions, but they'll be in the one overall recurring payment event. So they're sort of purchased together. So we'll save that. And I'm just going to go through that payment process quickly, just so I can assign some contact records in the CRM. I'll just do this off screen, so not revealing any credit card details. Just quickly. Okay, so it's processing now. It's going to take me to the landing page of the Secure Zone. I have the order output or the form output here, so we can see there were no error messages, so it all went through fine. Okay, so now we can go back to this CRM item. So update to the CRM. So obviously if we go back into the admin and look at the contacts, or the contact that just subscribed to that zone, look at their subscriptions. So we can see we're now subscribed to those 2 secure zones. The expiry date is 1 month ahead. So obviously that the secure zone membership will cancel if the payment doesn't go through or is cancelled. And we now have these links at the side here. So we've added the cancel subscription link. And what I was mentioning before, how the payment, the two secure zones go through as one recurring payment. So if you cancel either of these, they both get cancelled. The whole payment through Stripe gets cancelled. So it cancels any secure zones that were under that subscription. So I just wanted to clarify that, because you might think that they go through separately, or you can cancel one, not the other. That doesn't seem to be the case. Also, if you cancel the subscription in Stripe itself, on Stripe's end, the API call feeds back into here and cancels it as well. So it goes both ways, which is good. And that's what this item down here just talks about, the cancellation. So if I was to click this, so we'll get a pop-up just mentioning that this membership subscription grants access to several secure zones. So it's a subscription to like a membership or a recurring membership, which includes multiple secure zones. It's not a subscription to a specific secure zone, if that makes sense. Okay, and I should just mention here too that on that form that we added to the page, and it calculated the total price, if you manually change that price, you'll get an error. So it looks like we can only process that at the correct price from what it says here. So I guess for now that means we probably can't do any sort of discount methods or trial period type things, or zero value, although I haven't tested any of that out, but it sort of seems like that's not the case at the moment. Okay, so and back to the form again, I'll just jump back to that. So it's saying that it will try and validate the form for and make sure that any secure zones that you add have the same recurring rate. So you can't, you can't add, say, a yearly recursion and a monthly recursion. And I assume that's because they're bulked together in the one transaction in Skype, so the recursion has to happen at the same rate. So it won't allow you to do that. And then it talks about changes being made to the subscription. Particularly if there are already members subscribed to it. So if you were to go to try and change a secure zone's, let's say the price of this particular one, we wanted to up this to 60 cents, save. So it's telling me that there are already active subscriptions to this particular secure zone. I can leave all the memberships, I assume, as is and save the changes, or I can discard all memberships and save changes. So I guess this is just helping us manage those current memberships. And it looks like, what it says here, so you can't really change the price in bulk for existing memberships. You can only leave them as is or cancel them. And in that case, you'd have to start them again if the price was changing, I guess. I'm assuming you could change it manually through Stripe, but yeah, here in the admin, it doesn't look like it's going to let us change price in bulk, and possibly even the recursion setting. So how I read this here is, it looks like we can't lower the price without cancelling the memberships, but you can raise the price and leave existing memberships as is. So I assume they'll stay at the previous rate, and then I guess any new subscriptions would be at the higher rate. Not sure why we can lower it. We can't lower it, but we can higher it. Or maybe that's just a typo of how that's written. I'll try and clarify that. But yeah, so overall, that's looking pretty good. Not sure how BC memberships are going to migrate to this. I haven't tested that out or seen anything on that yet, but yeah, certainly coming more in line with what we had there. So that's looking good. And then there's a few bug fixes. We had just a broken URL when you're looking at the pages. So the URL preview that it gives you here, that was just not generated correctly, but now it is. And in a similar fashion with the breadcrumbs at the top here, in a lot of cases wasn't going back to the correct parent. And there's a rebuild index fix. So I think there was an issue with custom modules after having their names changed. They would disappear from the front end and only reappear after being re-indexed. So that should be fixed. There was an issue with trying to delete a contact if they were subscribed to a secure zone. There'd be an internal error show up. So we should be able to delete contacts now. And then there was a liquid issue with the for loop index, only working in the deepest level of the for loop if you had multiple for loops nested inside each other. So now that's working in all loops. Okay, so yeah, hopefully those waiting to sell secure zone memberships, that this allows that to happen for you. Yeah, and that's it till next release. Thank you.